So fuck. I had a really anxious day yesterday. I'm just gonna do normal things. This is okay. Does this look gross? This sink is hella stained. Okay, so I had a really anxious day yesterday, and I guess I just want to process it / talk about like the underlying issues that days like that cause me, and the way they make me feel. I don't have them all the time, but like I feel like I have tackled a good amount of my anxiety, like to the point that I can, you know, leave the house and stuff. I mean, there was a period of my life. This isn't ingrained in me, by the way. I need to just talk. I think I need to just talk. Something about the camera also triggers part of my anxiety too, because a lot of my anxiety is like social anxiety and just like the fear of honesty that comes with that. You know, I honestly think most of my social anxiety, and this might just be a thing, but most of my social anxiety is just rooted in this feeling of frustration that I'm not able to be like my most authentic self in the situation that I'm in, and that's when I get social anxiety. And it's just like this battle that goes on in my head, and my anxiety is basically my brain getting mad at myself, I think. I think that's the biggest part of it. So anyway, I know I just went on like a bunch of tangents. That's gonna happen because that's the point of this video. That's the point. What's the point? I don't remember what I was saying. So my brain is like, does it ever chill? It never chills. It never chills. I'm making it worse by trying to think about like what I was thinking about. Is that ever, you know what I mean? It's leaving, it's going further and further away from my brain, and now I don't even like remember what I was talking about. I should just watch this. Social anxiety, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah. So my anxiety used to be, there was a period of time where it was a lot worse. There was also a period of time where I don't remember it being that bad. That period of time was basically before I moved to New York. New York, I had a mental breakdown, for lack of a better word, and that's where a lot of the anxiety came from, and I think I've managed to dissipate most of it. Like, I feel like it used to be a lot worse. There were circumstantial things that were happening. They were making it a lot worse, that made me like not want to go outside or be in public a lot that much. I still don't like the public that much, but it's not like a crippling fear. It's more just like that I prefer peace and quiet. Like I wish outside was a forest. I wish that I could look outside and there was a forest there. Like that's what I want. It's more that, just that it's so overwhelming to me. But I do things. Like I still go out and do things, and it's not really an issue. The fuck was the point of this again? Sweater's dirty. Maybe if I walk, I'll be able to think better. Let's turn the light on. So yeah, yesterday I had a particularly bad day, and it was triggered. I don't know why it was triggered by this, but it was triggered seemingly by the fact that I woke up really early yesterday by accident and wasn't able to fall back asleep. And so I smoked a little bit of weed, which I've done before. I don't do it anymore. So, but I've definitely done that before, and it didn't cause an issue. Anyway, I did that, and it was a sativa, which is like the up one. And my thought process was like, okay, I'll smoke this and then I'll lay back down for a little bit and relax. But since this is sativa, like I'll probably end up with a little bit of energy, and I'll probably get up and I'll just start my day with a little bit of a sativa stone, right? No, that did not happen. I ended up just falling completely back asleep into like a deep sleep, and couldn't really pull myself out of it until like 10. So I was like, okay. So I was groggy when I woke up, but that's like expected. That's not new. When you smoke weed, that happens. And so I was just like waiting for it to wear off, but it messed up my whole day. And it made me feel like I was trapped in my body all day, and like I felt just heavy, and I felt like I didn't have a lot of control over my what my brain was doing, and I couldn't pull myself out of it. Usually, not always, but sometimes if the anxiety is not so bad, I can just sort of tweak something in my brain a little bit, and like it's an okay day. But if it's really bad, or if it feels like it's too in my body, that's a little harder for me. And it usually just means I need to be at home. Like I need to be at home and able to relax and able to be in my own space. And it's kind of hard. And so I was at my job. I was at my job when this was happening. So it's really hard for me to pull myself out of it when I'm at my job. And so I just didn't feel good all day. And when I don't feel good, it's very, very hard for me to talk to people. And I work at a cafe, so that's not really an option. My coworker that I also do this thing too. It's so annoying where I'm frustrated with myself that I'm unable to talk, and so sometimes I will talk longer than I want to just because I'm trying to like prove something to myself, or I don't want it to seem like something's wrong with me, and then it makes it worse. So like, you know, obviously it would have been so much easier. And ironically, on days when I feel okay, I'm able to have social interactions that don't stress me out. Not because like I'm not sometimes, but not necessarily just because I'm in such a good mood that I can talk to someone for an hour. But no, it's because I'm in like a good headspace that I'm able to leave conversations if I want to, or like I don't exhaust myself, I guess, because I am in a good headspace and I want to protect my energy. But if I'm in a bad headspace, I feel destructive and I think I deplete myself. sort of in a destructive way to try and like pretend, like to try and just pretend like things are fine. And so that was happening. So like I was talking to my coworker, and I just was getting so exhausted, but like I just couldn't find a way to sort of leave the conversations that kept happening, and I just couldn't find a way to calm down. It was just not good. So and I hate feeling like that at my job, especially this job, because I've had a lot of issues with this job, and just internally I've had issues with, mostly internally I've had issues with this job. So whenever I have a day where I feel like that it sort of triggers a lot of bad feelings, and beyond that, it triggers like larger issues I have, which are that feeling of that social anxiety feeling of feeling stressed because I feel like whatever situation I'm in, I'm not able to be my authentic self, which I understand is objectively bullshit, because you can be your authentic self in any situation if you decide to, but it's the only time that I really feel like I can be myself is around someone that I'm very, very close to. And right now that's boyfriend, I hate that word. But right now that's my boyfriend. But it's always been like that for me, but I don't remember being confronted with it as often. Like I feel like even in high school, even in high school, like I had my friends, I had the people I was close to, but like in class, you're just sitting alone. Like you're not like on display. I don't know what the difference is, but the point was that when I have bad days like this or like that, it triggers that feeling, and it just reminds me that it's something that I really, really struggle with, and it really bums me out. And I think to myself in moments like this, like, what can I do to change my life so that my job and my reality feels like comfortable to me. Like I want a job where I feel like where I feel safe. I think I think that, basically it would just be me working for myself, right? Like a lot of my anxiety seemingly comes from being around too many people. I don't know. Well, anyway, in moments like this, I start thinking about everything, and I'm like, what can I change? Like, what can I change? What do I need? What would make things better? And it feels like I've tried everything with myself. I'm sure I haven't, but like at a certain point, like it just starts to feel so much like you, and you're like, this is just who I am. How much can I really, like, what would fix it? I don't know. I don't know how to change myself internally. I don't know how to change my perspective enough that these things don't make me anxious, and I don't feel constantly like I'm biting my tongue, or not acting in a way that I want to act, or like not sharing opinions, or just being like this, like a fucking little like bitch version of myself. I don't know what to do to not feel like that anymore. And so it feels like if I just change my environment, like if I just am if I'm in a job or something, if I'm in a job that works with me instead of against me and doesn't like flare up these issues, then maybe that would fix it. Like that's my only idea, but I don't even have any ideas about that. And I don't, like, I hate looking for a job, you know, like I'm not so like reckless anymore. I mean, honestly, I haven't. I'm not like gonna quit my job or anything. This issue is mostly lies with me, and I think that I would have this issue in like a good amount of any other job I found. I think it would take a very specific kind of job, one where maybe I'm like working alone and independently, or in a quiet environment, or with just like a couple people. But as far as like easy jobs to get, I guarantee I would have some version of this struggle wherever I go. So I'm not like reckless enough to just quit like maybe I would have in the past. I also haven't. This is the first job that I've had in a while that I've even gotten the chance to feel that like monotony about, which is hilarious. You know how everyone talks about like hating their job and like dragging their feet, and these jobs, usually it's like in an office, like a job they've had for years and years. I've never really experienced that because all my jobs have been fairly short term for one reason or another. So I'm finally getting the chance to feel the fucking monotonous repetitiveness of this, and it's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating knowing that things aren't perfect. They're not even ideal. They're not even really close to ideal. But it would be, in my opinion, foolish to just like quit. Like I just don't have the fucking energy, I feel like. And I feel like there's, I don't know, I guess I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that yet. I still feel like I'm not that annoyed yet, I guess. I'm not annoyed enough. But yeah, the authenticity thing is a big struggle for me. But I know that that's my problem. It just sucks because when you're close to when I'm close to someone, at least, or when I'm in a comfortable place, that issue just sort of evaporates, and it's like the best feeling in the world, and I'm just addicted to that feeling you get when you show like who you are to someone and you are able to vibe and make things work. And there's situations where for whatever reason I'm able to be comfortable, and I'm addicted to those feelings, and I want to feel like that all the time, but I can't feel like that all the time, I guess, and it hurts me a lot. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe more than other people. I feel like people would probably say, like, you know, we all like hide parts of ourselves in life. I mean, this isn't a new thing, like, at all. There's like whole memes about people's like job personas versus public personas versus, like, you know, but for whatever reason, it eats me alive quite a bit, and it's really something that I want to make like real progress on this year, but I'm kind of lost as to where to start, and so this is where I'm starting. I'm starting with vlogs, because I don't have a therapist, because fucking OHP won't get back to me, hasn't gotten back to me yet about whether I'm approved or not. But even then, I might not have a therapist. Who knows? So this is what I'm doing. I'm hoping that if I talk into the camera for like hours, that things will straighten out, you know? Because I was prepared for this level of rambling and stupidness, but like I just feel like I bite my tongue so much. And I have so much to say all the time. I have so much to say all the time. And when I don't have something to say, I like to say, shut up, I don't want to talk. Like, but I don't know when I became such a fucking people pleaser, or how to get rid of this, because it's like, it feels like it goes so against who I actually am. Like, so against, but it's like a compulsive thing that I can't stop doing out of fear. Like, just scared that if I'm not what people want me to be, or if I don't behave in some way, that I will get in trouble. And I probably would, because I think maybe that does scare me, that like if I was actually myself, if I was messy and chaotic and opinionated and all of those things that are not very digestible, that it would hurt me more than it would help me. And I'm scared that maybe for a second I would feel free, but then I would like lose my job, or I would like my life would fall apart. And I'm terrified of that. I'm terrified of not having money. I'm terrified of the repercussions that something like that would have. Like, if something bad happened to me, I might start spiraling, and then I might get depressed, and then I might have a hard time finding another job or something. These are all legitimate fears of mine. And once again, they don't have even that much to do with my actual job. I mean, I think that this job definitely exacerbates a lot of issues for sure. It's not blameless, but it's not the sole reason by any fucking means at all. It's just kind of like my worst nightmare, I guess, in some ways. Just like a perfect storm, you know, of passive aggressiveness that makes me passive aggressive. Like, if I'm in a place where people are very like outspoken and honest, but there's organization and like genuine communication, and then I will do that too. Like I will really appreciate that. But I'm not gonna be the first person to like implement that kind of thing. Like I'm not gonna be the trailblazer to come in and like be the poster child of authenticity. No. I generally need someone else to do that first, or for me to feel safe enough to do that. And if I don't, then I won't do it. Like I'll just be too scared. I wish that was different. I genuinely wish that was different. I'm kind of hitting a wall here. I don't really have anything else to say. This is so fucking long. It's 26 minutes. I have anxiety right now, which of course I want to get a chai and like do something. It sucks because I want the caffeine like feeling. I want to start my day, but I don't want the stress to go straight to my shoulders, and it sometimes does. Okay. So, well, this is just another time that I have the urge to talk because I'm having a lot of like spiraling thoughts in my head fucking again, and they're kind of about the same thing. I actually don't remember what I talked about last time. I know that my hair was blonde and that this turned out so much more red than I thought, but it's pretty sick. It's kind of surreal to look at it, actually. I've never had my hair all so consistently one color. Like, I've always had like half of it, or it's kind of like shoddily done, but this is like really good coverage. Like, I managed to actually get all of it, except for the roots, of course. I do like roots, but it looks like I'm wearing a wig. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. So, also my hands. Like, I don't even know how much of this I can talk about on vlogs, because I am gonna put this on my YouTube channel, and I would be honestly surprised if anyone from my job watched my YouTube channel, because like, no, they don't, no one really, but you know, it's always a chance. So, and it's not even a big deal. Like I'm already like backtracking. It's hilarious, but these are just my own insecurities, like cycling in my head, combined with some things at my job that sort of exacerbate them. But basically, I'm just feeling annoyed right now because I thought I wasn't annoyed, and then it like appeared, and then I was again. And it's just like a fear of mine. Like, I have this fear of getting in trouble, and yeah, you can say it's like a fear of criticism, but really I think what's underneath that fear is, and this is why I don't like this. I'm gonna take that back. I don't know where I was going with that. I think what's underneath that fear is a fear that I'm gonna be in a position where I can't defend myself, stand up for myself. Okay. And will feel like I'm being cornered, and will feel like I have to swallow things. And I fucking hate having to swallow things. Feelings and emotions. Or like words, or like things you want to say, things you want to be like, no, like this isn't right, like I don't like this is bullshit. Some things like that, you know, like things that I would feel comfortable saying to a friend of mine, to a family member, basically anyone else in my life that I have some kind of any kind of open relationship with, close relationship with, I'd feel comfortable saying. So in those situations, I'm not scared of confrontation, like basically at all, because I'm like, I'm not scared of feeling small. But when it comes to jobs, I am, because I have a fear that if I stand up for myself or something, it's gonna come off too aggressive, because I often come off too aggressive. I think that's how it seems to me. And that I'll get fired or something, or it'll start like some kind of weird like altercation that I won't be able to sustain. I don't know if that makes sense. And I really don't like looking for a job. I really hate the way I feel when I don't have a job, and I don't have money. I hate those feelings. Like, it's just the worst feeling. And so I feel the need to like be very self-protective when it comes to jobs. I want to be the one that like leaves. Obviously, I don't want to get fired. I want to be the one that leaves. And I become very people-pleasing at jobs, and it's annoying. And it probably hurts me in some way. It probably wouldn't even be that big of a deal if I just like was myself at my job, but for some reason it's really difficult for me to bring myself to do that. And the point is that basically I asked for a raise, and I'm probably going to get some of it, but my boss wants to have like a review, and I was like, okay, it's probably going to be nothing because we've talked face to face, and she said that like there was really nothing to talk about, so it's probably just like a formality. But there's this part of me that wonders if the like cafe manager at my job, I don't feel like she likes me very much. She's very sort of micromanagey, and I do my best to like help her and show her that I'm like doing a good job, but I just still kind of feel like she has it out for me. I don't know. I feel like she can be nitpicky about things, and most of the time I'm just like, okay, whatever, and don't like think anything of it. But sometimes I like question it, and I'm like, well, like, how come this has to be like that? Or like, does it really make a difference? Or like, well, I do it this way because like it just works for me. So little things like that. And this woman really doesn't like confrontation. I know this because she talks a lot behind people's backs, and I would not be surprised if this somehow trickled to my boss and got taken out of context. And that's just sort of eating away at me, because I have been called out at my job for like bickering before, and I just really think we have different definitions of what bickering is. I don't consider questioning something to be bickering, and I think that there should be allowed to be like an open dialogue. I don't think I should have to be getting micromanaged, considering I do a lot and I always do my job, and like I don't think I need to be watched. So I'm just like really hoping that doesn't come up, and that like really it's just a formality. But that keeps eating at my brain, because I'm like, if that comes up, I'm gonna feel really sad, honestly. I'm gonna feel sad, number one, that the cafe manager didn't just talk to me directly. Like, it doesn't, I would be upset that she felt like it was such an issue that she had to like go to someone else about it. You know what I mean? It's like, she really must think I have like bad intentions if that's what she did. I'm not saying this happened. This is just like a paranoia of mine, and I would not be surprised if this happened. And I would be upset, because I know that there's things I would want to say in response to that if that was brought up, and I have anxiety feeling like I wouldn't say them because I don't want to like seem difficult, you know? But I've been going over in my head like what I would ideally like to say, and then I like tone it down a little, and I'm like, maybe I would just say this, maybe I would just like say like or maybe I would just like laugh it off and be like, okay, like sure. I won't bicker with anyone anymore. But so yeah, that's just been cycling in my head, and it's just been really fucking annoying me, because I just don't like feeling like I don't have a voice. Like I can't have a voice. Like I can't fucking say what I want, and that like things are still gonna be okay. Not like just anything I want, but that I can't say something and that things will be okay. Because I mean, consider this, like if little things like that are an issue, like what would happen if I said like something real? I don't know. I have no idea. That's just, it's just so fucking annoying. But I feel like I feel like I have to say something. So a part of me is like hoping that that comes up maybe, so that I have a chance to address it and then like get rid of it. Like I would probably want to say, what do you, like, I don't know what I would, maybe I would ask like, what did she tell you? What did she say to you? Like, I'm not bickering with anyone. I always do everything, almost everything she asked. No, I always do everything she asked me to do. Unless it just seems redundant, and then I like ask a question, because I don't like feeling like I'm being nitpicked for something that virtually makes no difference in the functioning of the cafe. So yeah, I would probably just be like, I think we have different definitions of bickering. Like, I'm not bickering with anyone. I'm just quite maybe questioning some things. And yeah. That's really been irritating me all day. I feel a little bit better. I was hoping that turning this on and like talking about it would make me feel better, and I don't know, it helped a little bit, I guess, but I just really want a job where I feel like I can be myself, and for me, I guess that's kind of a tall order, so I would settle for one that is just very organized and has direct communication, which I feel like this place doesn't, because I mean, that's a trade-off. Like if I'm not in a place where I can like be my genuine self, which I feel like is rare for for not only like a customer service, like a server job, but for like any job, like I get that, but the alternative would be a place that's just very well run, and the duties are laid out, and like I know what I have to do, and there's no question about it, because I don't like the like weird uncertainty, I guess, or like just the gray area is just annoying. Like if I can't be myself, then just tell me what I need to do like every day. Like don't like switch it up on me. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like if I have like an entry-level job, I should just have, these are the responsibilities, that's it. You know, we're not getting paid very much, like, and I can do that, because like that's not gonna bring out any anxiety or any weird angst in me. If I just like know what I have to do and I go home, I'm gonna feel like I'm doing what I have to do, and I'm gonna feel good about that, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna feel secure and fine. So I just feel like I'm kind of stuck in the middle, because this place has like a family vibe, like that's kind of what they're trying to do, and it can make things a little confusing. Family vibe, I mean, like sometimes there's not really clear requirements of like what you're supposed to do. I don't know how to explain it. It's just makes me a little bit stressed out. Especially because if this was actually a family vibe, I would be able to talk to people comfortably. I would feel safe and comfortable emotionally. I would feel all these things. So it just kind of feels like they're taking the help everyone part of a family vibe, but not the like give everyone the benefit of the doubt family vibe, and like talk to them like they're people and don't assume the worst. Like that's not what you do in a family, right? In a family, you typically like have each other's back. So do you see like the fucking like hypocrisy kind of that I'm noticing? Let's open this again. But again, I do objectively like the job. Like, it's a cafe and a bar, and I want bartending experience, so I really like want to get some actual bartending experience, and so like I'm not frustrated enough to just want to like throw the whole thing away, because I don't want to look for another job really. I mean, if I got offered a better one, I would probably take it, but at this time, it just doesn't seem worth it. It feels like it might cause me more stress than, I wonder, honestly. I wonder how much of my current stress is because of like little communication weirdness at my job. It's kind of hard to tell, because I feel like my anxiety over the last few years has really dramatically gone down. And I used to feel like stressed like this. Like I feel stress in my body, and I felt it for like the last couple of days, not just because of this, but I used to feel like this a lot when things were like especially bad, and they're not like that anymore. So, but they've sort of like, they've kind of steadily gotten better, very slowly, maybe without me noticing it. So I wonder, oh fuck, yeah. Maybe I should just work at like a chill coffee shop where there's like no like gossip, fucking social politics, passive aggressiveness. Like, just like come to my job, make coffee, whatever, do my job, and like leave. Like, I just don't, for minimum wage or whatever and tips, like you shouldn't have to deal with anything. And unfortunately, I'm not the type of person that can just like not care. I don't know how to be that person. They just stress me out. Like, these kind of things stress me out. They get into my brain and they like make a little home in there, and they burrow themselves in there. And as much as I try to tell myself like it doesn't fucking matter, like just put it out of your head, like you can't control it, there's no point in worrying about it, just be present, they keep surfacing, and I don't know how to get them out. Like, I distract myself, I rant at the camera, I don't really know what else to do. I don't want to be constantly like moving and obsessively trying to get thoughts out of my head. I want to be able to relax, but sometimes they like, that's when they sneak back in. So yeah, I'm very emotionally susceptible to this shit and highly affected by people and interactions that I have, and feeling like I'm suppressing things affects me profoundly. And honestly, the only thing that might, this is a total, the thing about this is such a theoretical, because it's a double-edged sword, and I'm gonna explain. The only thing, Jesus, should we put this back in? Look, it's blue. This conversation, this, by the way, this like, okay, that looks, I don't like this. I'm kind of demented. Like, I feel like I look like I'm on drugs. Fuck. Looks psychotic. it back in. The only thing, again, double-edged sword, hypothetical, that might make me feel better is to just speak my mind. Like the way that I do, not the exact way that I do, because I'm like comfortably way more abrasive with, you know, friends and stuff like that, because I know that they can handle it and I know that it's going to be a conversation and not a fight. Speak my mind in interactions like this at my job, because then I'll at least be able to alleviate the fear of wondering what would happen if I did do that. And I could look at it and be like, okay, well, I spoke my mind. Like, what I said was true. I know that it was true. I wanted to say that. I feel like it's true. And if I, for some reason, get in like actual trouble for that, then that might not eat me alive so much as if I get in trouble for something and don't speak up. Or if I don't speak up and suppress things and I still get in trouble for something. And that feels so much worse, honestly, than getting in trouble for like saying telling the truth about how you feel or what you think, you know? The double-edged sword is that if I get in trouble, like that would suck and I, you know, maybe don't have a job, but like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, what am I worried about? Like, for just, like, I'm literally worried about, like, what will happen if I defend myself. Like, that's so fucking stupid. That's twisted. But, alas, like, this is my stupid brain. I guess I just have to try that. I think I'm out at the point where I have to try it. Fine. Fine, I'll do it. Okay, fine. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write down all of, like, any scenario that I'm anxious about happening. And then I'm gonna write down what I can say in response to a scenario like that happening. I feel like this looked cool at one point, now it doesn't. I think Eric's gonna be home soon. Maybe I'll do that. It'll at least be an exercise in it, and then if something does happen, I'll like remember, oh, I remember that I wanted to say something about this, and now I can. Okay, I'm gonna try it because you know what I've been doing isn't working. And I'm fucking tired of being anxious. Like, I have opinions. I feel like I'm so like quiet and awkward and standoffish and just like all work, no play, like responsible. Like that's how I feel like I am at my job, because I don't know, that's like what I'm used to. But it's not really like working here. I feel like it's not like working because I have to be, I don't know, like it's not appreciated, I guess. Doesn't feel like it is. And so I just end up feeling like kind of small and voiceless and irritated. Like I'm sick of being irritated. Like my personality is better than that. It's so much better than that. I'm sure I'm looking at this like way too intensely. I know that, but can keep in mind that this has just like been ruminating in my head. Like all of this shit happens in my head. And so it probably like seems more intense than it is, but I just wanted to vocalize the paranoias that I have, how I actually see the situation, whether it's fucking right or wrong. I don't care. This is what it feels like to me. And boom, I did that. Okay, that was good. I think I have to try the exercise that I was gonna do though. And I can hear Eric downstairs. I can hear him. I guess I'll leave it on until he comes home. I could hear you coming home.
You knew I was coming home?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you know?
I could hear you. Well, I knew what time it was, and I could hear you.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna put this away.
Okay.